The strange roommate. The university dormitory was always loud and full of life. Students ran in the halls, music played from rooms, and laughter echoed late into the night. But for Alex, moving into a new room meant something more. It was a chance for a fresh start, away from the noise of his old life. He was told he would have a roommate, someone new, someone different. Alex thought nothing of it. After all, people came from all over the world to study here. When the door opened for the first time, Alex noticed something strange. The roommate walked in slowly, carrying only one small bag. He was tall, too tall, and his skin seemed pale under the light. His eyes were dark, but had a strange glow, as if reflecting light from within. The boy smiled, but it was an awkward smile, like someone copying what a smile should look like. "Hello," the roommate said. "I am Rin." The way he spoke was careful, almost robotic, every word pronounced perfectly. Alex forced a smile. "Hey, I'm Alex, welcome." Rin nodded, looking around the room like it was his first time in a human space. As days passed, Alex noticed more strange things. Rin never ate in the cafeteria. He carried strange bottles of liquid that looked like silver water. He would sip it quietly, never chewing food like everyone else. When other students joked or laughed, Rin tilted his head, as if trying to decode the meaning. Sometimes he would ask strange questions. Why do humans laugh when something is not useful? Or why do humans cry when water is already inside the body? At first, Alex laughed it off, thinking maybe Rin was from a faraway country with different customs. But soon, the questions became even stranger. Why does your heart beat faster when you see someone attractive? Why do humans want to touch each other when they're close? Alex grew uncomfortable but curious. Rin never seemed dangerous, only different. He watched people like a scientist watches animals. He took notes in a small black device that had glowing symbols. One night, when Rin thought Alex was asleep, he whispered into the device. The subject shows signs of confusion when questioned directly. Further study required. Alex felt chills, but he pretended to sleep, his mind racing. Subject? Study? What was Rin doing? The strangest moment came one evening. Alex was searching for a spare notebook, so he looked under Rin's bed. There, hidden inside a metal case, were objects that looked nothing like human tools. Thin rods glowing with blue light, a small screen showing moving symbols, and something that looked like a syringe, but it was filled with shifting silver liquid. Alex's hand froze, his heart pounding. Before he could touch anything, Rin's voice came from behind. "Do not open that," he said calmly, but his eyes glowed brighter than ever. Alex jumped, his throat dry. "I was just looking for," he tried to explain, but Rin stepped closer. "That case is private. It is not for human eyes." The way he said human sent a wave of fear through Alex's body. Alex tried to laugh it off. Human eyes? What are you talking about? But Rin only stared at him, too long, too intense. Then finally, he looked away and returned to his desk. "Forget what you saw," he said. "It is better for both of us." Alex nodded quickly, but inside his chest, his heart raced like a drum. That night, he couldn't sleep. He lay awake, listening to the soft hum of Rin's strange device. His mind repeated the words, "Not for human eyes." The next morning, Alex studied Rin more carefully. He noticed how his skin looked almost too smooth, how he never blinked unless someone else did first, how his steps made no sound on the floor. Alex thought back to all the questions Rin had asked about human bodies, human feelings, human reproduction. It was not just curiosity, it was research. And Alex realized something terrifying. Maybe Rin was not human at all. Maybe his roommate was something else, something from far beyond Earth. But Alex had no proof, only fear. So he decided to watch, to wait, to learn. One thing was certain. Rin was hiding a secret. And whatever it was far bigger than just a strange new roommate. The alien truth. Alex tried to act normal, but his mind kept circling around the glowing tools under Rin's bed. Every time Rin looked at him with those unblinking eyes, Alex felt like he was being measured, weighed, studied. The word Rin had used still echoed in his head, "Not for human eyes." It was not just strange, it was wrong, it was dangerous. One evening, Alex couldn't hold his curiosity anymore. He sat on his bed and asked directly, "Rin, what are you hiding from me?" Rin didn't answer at once. Instead, he closed his notebook device, the one that always glowed with strange moving symbols. Then, with slow calmness, he looked at Alex and said, "You are smarter than average. I thought you might discover it sooner." Alex froze, every nerve in his body waiting for the next word. "I'm not from this planet," Rin continued, his voice steady. "I am here to study your kind." The silence that followed was heavy. Alex laughed nervously, trying to push away the fear. "Not from this planet? You're joking, right? Like, you mean another country?" Rin shook his head slowly, his dark eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. "No, another world, far from here, another sky, another sun." Alex's chest tightened, his mouth dry. He wanted to deny it, call it madness, but deep down he already knew. The way Rin spoke, the way he moved, the strange glowing objects, it all fit together. Alex whispered, "You're an alien?" Rin tilted his head as if testing the word. "Yes, that is your term. I am an alien, a researcher from a star system you cannot yet see with your machines." Alex's mind spun, his heart beating faster than he thought possible. Hundreds of questions filled his head, but only one escaped his lips. "Why me? Why are you my roommate?" Rin leaned forward, his voice low, his words careful. "Because you are statistically average, your body and mind represent the common human. You are the perfect subject." Subject? The word stabbed deeper this time. Alex swallowed. "What do you mean, subject?" Rin tapped his glowing notebook and answered, "I observe your behavior, your reactions, your body's responses. I record them for study." Alex felt sick, like the floor under him was moving. "You mean you've been spying on me?" "Not spying," Rin corrected. "Studying, learning, collecting truth about humanity." Alex stood up, his fists tight, anger fighting fear. "You can't just treat me like an experiment. I'm not a lab rat." But Rin didn't move. His calmness was more frightening than anger. "You are more than that. Humans are fascinating, unique, not like any species we've seen before, and I need to understand why." His eyes glowed brighter, like two small stars. "And for that, I must focus on one thing in particular." Alex hesitated, afraid of the answer. "Focus on what?" he asked, his voice trembling. Rin's reply was clear, almost too calm. "Human reproduction." The words hit Alex like a stone to the chest. Reproduction, the very thing that carried all the awkwardness, all the intimacy, all the mystery of human life. Alex tried to laugh, but came out broken. "You're studying reproduction? Are you serious?" Rin nodded once, his face unreadable. "Your kind connects survival with emotions, with bonds, with something deeper than biology. This is rare, this is powerful, and I must know why." Alex sat back down, feeling his knees shake. He wanted to believe this was a joke, some strange prank, but every part of Rin screamed truth. The glowing tools, the strange food, the endless questions, the secret notes at night. Everything pointed here. "You want to study that?" Alex asked, his voice almost a whisper. Rin's eyes did not leave his. "Yes, I will run tests, I will observe, and I will learn, but I need you to cooperate." Alex's blood ran cold. Cooperate? With what? What kind of tests did Rin mean? He thought of scalpels, cages, cold alien machines. But then Rin added something that made it worse. "You are the only one who can help me. You are my chosen subject, and I will not stop until I understand." Alex wanted to run, to scream, to tell someone, but who would believe him? No one would accept a story about an alien roommate experimenting with reproduction. He was trapped, and worse, he was alone. Rin leaned back, his voice almost gentle now. "Do not be afraid. I will not harm you. But this truth cannot be shared. Not yet. It is between us." That night, Alex couldn't sleep again. The word reproduction echoed in his ears like a drumbeat. What did Rin really want? What kind of experiment was he planning? And most of all, Why did Alex feel like he was standing at the edge of something much larger, something dangerous? The strange roommate was no longer just a mystery. He was a threat. And the real experiment was only about to begin. The experiment begins. Alex thought life with an alien roommate could not get stranger, but he was wrong. The very next day, Rin began what he called the first stage of testing. He said it like a teacher announcing homework, calm, serious, and certain. Alex's stomach tightened because the words testing and reproduction did not belong together in any safe sentence. Rin sat at his desk with a glowing device that looked like a mix between a laptop and a medical scanner. He tapped symbols on it, and a soft humming filled the room. "Do not worry," Rin said without looking up. "This will not hurt. It is simply to measure your body's response." Alex sat on the bed, gripping the blanket, trying not to panic. "Measure what exactly?" he asked. "Everything," Rin replied. "Heartbeat, breathing, pupil dilation, chemical shifts in your blood. Your body tells the truth even when your mouth does not." Alex wanted to laugh, but it came out shaky. "People usually just talk about these things, not scan them." Rin tilted his head. "Your species hides truth with words. My scanners do not care about words." Then, as if testing a theory, Rin asked, "Tell me, Alex, when you think about attraction, what happens inside your chest?" Alex blinked, heat rising in his face. This was not the kind of conversation he wanted with his roommate. He muttered, "My heart beats faster, I guess." Rin's device beeped softly. "Confirmed," he said, typing notes, "and your temperature increases slightly." Fascinating. It got worse. Rin asked question after question. Why do humans look at lips when they desire to kiss? Why does touching skin make you feel closer, even though it does not increase survival? Why do you call it love when it is simply reproduction? Alex groaned, burying his face in his hands. "You can't just ask this stuff out loud. It's embarrassing." Rin leaned forward, genuinely confused. "Embarrassing? I see no logic in hiding natural facts. Reproduction is the most vital process for your kind, yet you cover it with secrecy and emotion." Alex muttered, "Yeah, because it's personal, not just science." Rin stared at him, his dark eyes glowing like twin lanterns. "Personal? That is the difference. Your kind adds something personal to survival. Other species do not." He paused, tapping his notes. "This makes you unique, but also unpredictable." Later that night, Rin brought out another tool, a thin rod with glowing rings around it. He pointed it at Alex, and a soft blue light scanned his body. The screen showed lines, shapes, and what looked like DNA spirals. Rin smiled slightly, the first real smile Alex had seen. "Your code is beautiful, chaotic but strong. It explains much." Alex shifted nervously. "You talk about me like I'm a science project." "You are," Rin said simply, "but not in a cruel way, in an important way. What I learned from you may change how my species sees yours." The strangest moment came when Rin asked Alex to watch a human romantic movie. He set up a screen, played a film full of love, heartbreak, and dramatic kisses. Rin didn't watch the movie. He watched Alex instead. Every time Alex laughed or looked away awkwardly, Rin wrote notes. When main characters kissed, Rin leaned closer. Your heart rate increased. Why? "Because it's awkward when you stare at me like that." Alex snapped. "Noted," Rin said calmly, writing even faster. By the end of the night, Alex was drained. It wasn't pain that tired him. It was the endless questioning, the feeling of being under a microscope. He felt less like a roommate and more like a test subject. But there was something in Rin's voice when he said, "You are unique," that made Alex pause. It wasn't cold. It wasn't mocking. It was almost respect. Still, Alex couldn't shake the fear. If Rin was studying reproduction so closely, what was the end goal? Data for a report? A guidebook for other aliens? A plan for invasion? Alex didn't know, but he knew one thing. The experiment had only begun, and he was in the middle of it. And tomorrow, Rin promised, the questions would go even deeper. Suspicion and tension. Days passed, and Alex felt like he was living in a lab instead of a dorm room. Every question Rin asked, every scan he made, pushed Alex deeper into unease. But what disturbed him most wasn't the tests. It was the way Rin always whispered into his strange device at night. The words were too quiet to understand, but Alex sometimes caught fragments. Subject stable, emotions increasing, reproduction cycle unclear. It was like listening to a doctor's report. Only this doctor wasn't human. Alex tried to ignore it, tried to pretend everything was fine, but fear doesn't stay quiet for long. One evening, as Rin left the room to collect atmospheric samples, Alex leaned close to the glowing notebook. The screen shifted when it sensed him, strange symbols swirling into shapes he couldn't read. But then, for just a moment, the device translated a message into broken English. Transmit report to High Command. Continue study. Assess human threat potential. Alex's stomach dropped, his hands shaking. Threat potential. The words burned into his brain. Rin wasn't just curious. He was working for someone bigger, someone watching Earth from the shadows. If humans were considered a threat, then what would happen next? When Rin returned, Alex pretended nothing had happened. But now every glance, every movement felt heavier. He noticed details he hadn't seen before. The way Rin never blinked unless others did first. The way his breath fogged faintly, even when the room was warm. The way he scanned every laugh, every touch, every word like data to be harvested. That night, Alex lay awake, heart pounding. He thought of his family back home, of his friends laughing in the cafeteria, of the millions of people living their lives without knowing an alien was studying them. And now he wondered, how many more Rins were out there? One alien in a dorm room was strange, but an army of them, each watching, each collecting data. That was terrifying. The next day, Alex decided to test Rin. He asked casually, "So, when are you planning to finish your project?" Rin stopped mid-scan, his eyes narrowing ever so slightly. "Why do you ask?" "Just curious," Alex said, forcing a shrug. "You've been busy. I figure there's a deadline or something." Rin's lips twitched into what could almost be a smile, but it wasn't friendly. "There is always a deadline," he said softly, "and we are closer than you think." The words chilled Alex to the bone. He laughed nervously, but inside his fear grew. Something wasn't right. This wasn't just about science anymore. This was about control, power, maybe even survival. Later, Alex caught Rin staring at a hologram projected from his device. It wasn't just notes this time, it was images. Earth, its continents glowing, with marks spread across cities like targets. Alex froze in the doorway, unable to breathe. When Rin noticed, he shut it down instantly, his glowing eyes locking on Alex. "You should not have seen that," Rin said, his voice low. Alex's throat tightened. What are you planning?" Rin did not answer. Instead, he stepped closer, almost whispering. "Do not fear me, Alex. Fear what happens if they see weakness in your kind." Alex couldn't move, his thoughts racing. They? Who were they? The High Command? An entire species watching humans like insects in a jar? And Rin, was he friend or enemy, protector or betrayer? That night, Alex wrote in his own notebook for the first time. He didn't know what he was planning, but he knew one thing. If Rin was studying humanity to prepare for something worse, Alex had to be ready. He couldn't just sit back and be a subject. Not anymore. And as he watched Rin across the room, his eyes glowing faintly in the dark, Alex made a silent vow. If there was going to be a war of knowledge between humans and aliens, he would not be the weak link. He would fight in his own way. Because if Rin's people wanted to judge humanity, then Alex would show them exactly what humans were made of. The breakthrough. The tension between Alex and Rin grew heavier each day. It felt like the air in the room was no longer safe to breathe. Alex knew Rin was sending reports to someone far away, someone powerful. But what Alex did not expect was the moment when Rin decided to show him the truth. One evening, the lights dimmed on their own. Rin's device projected a hologram into the center of the room. Shapes of silver light twisted and folded, forming figures that were not human. Tall, featureless beings with skin like glass and veins of light running underneath. This Rin said calmly, is my people. Alex stared in awe and unease. The alien figures moved like machines, their motions exact, their faces blank. They paired together not with love, not with touch, but with wires, chambers, and cold instruments. This is how we reproduce, Rin explained, his voice steady. No intimacy, no emotion, no family, only function. Cells are harvested. Life is engineered. Survival is ensured. Efficiency is absolute. Alex's skin prickled. He watched as the hologram showed a chamber where new life was built, like machines rolling out of a factory. Rows of young aliens floated in tanks, each one identical, each one cold, each one soulless. Alex whispered, "That's horrible." Rin tilted his head, confused. Horrible? Is perfect, no weakness, no wasted time, no chaos of emotion. Every being is born equal. Every being is ready for duty. Alex shook his head, his chest tight. No, you don't understand. That's not living. That's just existing. Rin's eyes glowed faintly. Explain, he said simply. Alex swallowed, forcing the words out. Humans don't just reproduce to survive. We reproduce because of love, because of family, because we care about each other. We raise children not just to live, but to feel, to hope, to dream. For the first time, Rin's perfect calm cracked. He blinked too fast, his glowing eyes flickering. Dream, he repeated, as if the word itself was a puzzle. Yes, Alex said, his voice stronger now. Dreams, goals, sacrifices. A parent works hard not for themselves, but for their child. People fall in love even when it hurts. We fight for each other, not just for survival, but for meaning. Rin was silent, staring at the hologram as if it no longer made sense. Meaning, he said softly, almost to himself, my kind never considered this. We are born to serve, we die to serve. But you create bonds that last beyond survival. Alex leaned forward, his fear mixing with strange determination. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us human. We don't just exist, we live, and that makes us stronger than you realize. Rin's eyes glowed brighter, then dimmed, then brightened again, like his mind was racing. Finally, he turned off the hologram, the silver figures vanishing into the dark. He looked at Alex, his voice quieter than ever before. If what you say is true, then humanity is not only unique, it is dangerous because emotions cannot be predicted, love cannot be controlled. Alex felt his stomach drop. Dangerous. He had meant to inspire awe, but he had also given Rin something else, proof that humans were unpredictable, maybe even a threat. And if Rin believed that, then what would his people think? But before Alex could ask, Rin leaned closer, his face unreadable. You may have changed everything, Alex. What I report now will decide how my people see yours, as a wonder or as a danger. Danger revealed. The room was quiet, but Alex could feel the storm brewing. Ever since the night Rin showed him the hologram, nothing felt safe anymore. The words kept echoing in his mind. Wonder or danger. What if Rin decided humanity was too dangerous? What if his people decided Earth must be controlled, or worse, destroyed? The answer came sooner than Alex expected. One evening, Rin's device came alive on its own, glowing with a harsh white light. Strange voices filled the room, metallic and layered, speaking in a language Alex could not understand. Rin froze, his eyes glowing brighter. Then he answered in the same alien tone. Alex couldn't catch the words, but he caught the tone. Sharp, commanding, full of authority. The high command, Alex realized with a chill. For a moment, Alex thought Rin had forgotten he was in the room. But then the device flickered, and to Alex's horror, a broken translation appeared on the screen. Collect more data. Confirm threat status. If unstable, eliminate. Alex's breath caught in his throat. Eliminate. The word burned like fire. They weren't just studying humans. They were deciding if humans should live or die. Rin noticed Alex reading the words, his expression unreadable. You were not supposed to see that, he said softly. Alex stumbled back, his voice shaking. What are you doing? Are you planning to help them? Are you going to betray us? Rin's eyes flickered with light, like twin stars fighting to stay lit. I was sent to observe, to collect, not to decide, he said, but now, I do not know where I belong. Alex's fear twisted into anger. You're sending reports that could doom us. You're giving them reasons to see us as a threat. Rin shook his head slowly. No, I give them truth, but truth can be dangerous. Then, almost as if to prove the point, the hologram flickered again. This time, it showed Earth from space, its continents glowing like a map. Red markers pulsed across the surface. Cities, capitals, places filled with millions of lives. Alex's blood ran cold. Targets. His people were mapping the planet for destruction. He turned to Rin, his fists clenched. You can't let this happen. You've lived here. You've seen us. You know we're not just animals to be studied. We're not a threat. We're unpredictable. Rin interrupted, his voice low. You fight wars with passion. You create life with love. You risk death for ideas. This is power, but it is also danger. Alex's chest tightened, fear and fury mixing like fire. If you really think that, then why stay here? Why share a room with me? Why not report and leave? Rin's eyes softened for the first time, his voice almost human. Because you're not what they believe, Alex, you are more, and you have shown me what my kind cannot see. The strength in weakness, the power in love, the courage in chaos. But the device blazed again, interrupting the moment. The voice of high command boomed in harsh tones, and this time the translation was clear. Report final results. Decide human status. Time limit reached. Rin turned to Alex, the glow in his eyes dimming like a candle struggling in the wind. I must choose, he whispered. If I tell them humans are weak, they will take control. If I tell them you're dangerous, they will prepare to destroy. But if I tell them you are something more, I betray my own kind. The room fell silent, every second heavier than the last. Alex could feel his entire species hanging in the balance. One alien, one decision, one truth could decide the fate of humanity. And the only question was this: whose side would Rin choose? The twist ending. The room was silent except for the hum of Rin's device. The command from his people still glowed on the screen. Decide human status. Alex stood frozen, every muscle tight, his heartbeat echoing in his ears. Rin's glowing eyes flickered, torn between duty and doubt. For the first time since Alex had met him, Rin looked uncertain, almost afraid. Finally, Rin spoke, his voice low but firm. My people see life only as numbers, strength or weakness, survival or failure. But you have shown me something else, Alex, something they cannot measure. Alex swallowed, his throat dry. Then tell them the truth. Tell them we're more than a threat. Rin stared at the screen, then slowly reached out, his hand hovering above the glowing symbols. When he spoke into the device, his words were calm, but carried weight. Report. Humans are not weak, not dangerous. They're beyond calculation. They are untouchable. The device went silent. Then a harsh reply filled the room. Untouchable? Explain. Rin's eyes blazed, brighter than ever. They create life with love. They fight with hope. They rise from loss stronger than before. They are chaos, but in chaos, they are powerful. To attack them would be to invite defeat. For a long moment, the high command said nothing. Then the screen dimmed, and the voice came once more, colder than before. Report received. Your loyalty is compromised. Return for deconstruction. Alex felt a chill shoot down his spine. Deconstruction. Rin's own people had marked him for death. But Rin didn't flinch. His gaze stayed fixed on Alex. I will not return, he said softly. I have chosen my side. The device flickered and died, leaving only silence in the room. Alex finally breathed, his chest aching. You just betrayed your entire species, he whispered. Rin nodded, his face unreadable. Yes, but not for you alone, for the future of both our kinds. Alex shook his head, half in awe, half in terror. What happens now? Rin turned toward the window, staring out at the night sky. They know where I am. They know who you are. They will come. And when they do, Earth must be ready. Alex felt the weight of those words settle heavy on his shoulders. Ready? How can anyone be ready for an alien empire? But then Rin's voice grew quieter, almost like a promise. You humans have something they fear, something they cannot control. If you can hold on to it, you might survive. Alex asked, "What's that?" Rin turned, his glowing eyes softer now. "Love," he said simply, "the one force my people cannot understand, the one weapon they will never see coming." Outside, the stars looked calm, silent, endless. But Alex knew the truth. They were not empty, not safe. Somewhere out there, an alien empire was watching, waiting, planning, and inside his room, sitting only a few feet away, was the one alien who had chosen to stand with humanity. The question now was not if they would come, but when. And when they did, Alex vowed humanity would not bow. Humanity would fight, because the experiment was over, but the real story was only beginning.